Here's my review of Barbarian. We follow Tess, who books a rental house, who finds out it was already booked by somebody else named Keith, and so then they're forced to share it. And then on that night, she hears noises coming from the basement, and then she confronts Keith, and we find out he says that it's not him, and it's not. And this is just a really good monster movie, horror movie. And since I don't have enough time to explain the whole thing, in this movie, we see this monster that is living in the basement that is almost like a conformity of like a bunch of creatures that was all from this one guy named there's all a combination of this one guy named like Old Man Frank, who's like living in this basement, who we find out is actually like who is this monster who's just almost conjoined of a bunch of like almost like inbred like just other women and like their own children and just a bunch of horrible like completely crazy things like that. And the monster in this movie just looks very, very disgusting and just very creepy, which is just, I mean, it's a horror movie, so I mean, you kind of want that. And in terms of like twists, I wouldn't really say that there's really any major ones besides that. And I think with what this kind of movie kind of thrives at is almost when you don't really know about the monster until later on, and just Keith and Tess, just their relationship together works really good, as they're just kind of almost arguing what's down there. And then I already mentioned like the owner AJ, how he eventually goes to the house to see what's wrong with it when he hears about all this stuff, who owns the apartment complex, because obviously he doesn't want this to look bad. And there obviously we know that he ends up dying from this horrible monster. And I just think that this movie thrives almost in atmosphere and just the way it looks, and the way that they kill the monster is pretty sad and pretty interesting. So basically what happens, and basically how Mother dies, is the monster actually sacrifices herself to save Tess. And it's actually more of a representation of throughout the movie how like the women don't get enough respect. And she actually because Mother is basically like a rape victim, she sacrifices herself to save Tess. So it's just a very horrifying movie, but it's very good. I enjoyed it.